In lieu of the current events with Raila Odinga and Ruto hooking up as Teamsters now, one only has to ask, why was Meg Whitman visiting with Raila Odinga back in May of this year? Nobody really understood it because, well, Odinga was supposed to be out of the picture. He's a president who lost. However, the ambassador goes to his house, sits down and has a discussion with him. Nobody knows about what, for most of the conversations were muted. However, a lot of people are speculating now, with Odinga seeming to jump into the spotlight once again and using much of the Gen Z's push now to, once again, jump into the spotlight. So are people just gasping at straws asking this question as to why this meeting took place, or is there actually something to look into here? Let me know what you think down below.
On a similar note, President William Ruto has now admitted on meeting Azimio leader Raila Odinga over the impending dialogue with former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo. Speaking in Kwale, Ruto said that he has already agreed with the opposition leaders to never again engage in protests that might lead to bloodshed, sentiments that were separately supported by his deputy, Rigathi Gachagua. President Ruto's lieutenants, however, seemed to be reading from a different script as they urged Ruto to directly focus on serving Kenyans. And as our coast-based reporter Tobias Chanji tells us, the president has maintained that he will not engage the opposition on the cost of living.
It was during an interdenominational mass service at Ukunda town in Kwale County that President Ruto disclosed of meeting opposition leader Raila Odinga in Mombasa. Ruto admitted that he and Odinga agreed that violence, destruction of property will not be in the equation of the Republic of Kenya.
I have engaged our friends in the opposition and we have agreed that as a nation, all leaders, past, present, and future, that violence, destruction of life, destruction of property, destruction of public property will not be in the equation of the politics of Kenya, in the governance of Kenya, and in any other way in the Republic of Kenya.
Well, that didn't age well, did it? It seems like the more dots that we connect, the more things make sense. These two have been cahoots for a while. I mean, apparently there's been bloodshed before. This isn't the first time. And it was Odinga and Ruto that were involved in it, right? Well, I think I looked back at Odinga's record, and there was a time when there were over 1,000 people massacred during one of his political shenanigans. Back in 2000 or something like that. What's going on? So Odinga is all of a sudden handshaking with Ruto, they're friends again, and he's back in the spotlight. He's back where he belongs. He's back where he's always wanted to be, in that powerful position to meet with people. And I think that this finance bill has a lot more to do with their prosperity and who they're trying to be and the power they're trying to collect and the money than meets the eye. And if it has to, as what was it, Farrakhan once said, or Farrakhan say, I'm not a big supporter of Farrakhan or anything, but sometimes he does say things that make sense. And he said, it used to be easier to control him than it was to kill him, but now it's easier to kill him than it is to control him. And I'm just saying, it looks like that's the sign of the times that we're at right now. Let me know what you think. I mean, all of this has to do with the African Revolution. People are trying to stop it. Mainly people who are coming from the West. Look at Museveni, Uganda over there protesting at Gen Z. I don't get that one because Museveni is the one who started this whole thing in defying the West, along with Traore in Mali and Burkina Faso, those places like that, and they've kind of exposed Nigeria, Ghana, Akufo-Addo, to be specific, and Ruto and Odinga. He's part of it. But let me know what you think down below, and we're going to continue looking into this because investigative journalism is what we do, and hopefully you're enjoying this, and hopefully you are watching, and hopefully you're getting something from it because, well, our staff can't do it all. And we ask you all to join in, research this, because the future of Africa is at stake here. That one united Africa is coming around, and it definitely has some resistance. We can see it. Let's continue watching this because it's kind of interesting to see how this played out, seeing how we're looking back at almost a year ago, and here we are today, It seems like Ruto and Odinga knew something could definitely happen and would be pretty much their fault if it did. Well,
The head of state said that he was obligated that every Kenyan life, property and safety is guaranteed whether they supported him or not.
As a head of state, I am obligated to make sure that every Kenyan, whether they support my policies or not, that their life, their property is guaranteed. There is peace in the Republic of Kenya, and I have given a commitment.
On why the cost of living had not been included as part of the dialogue in the statement sent to newsrooms, Ruto stated that this is already being implemented and that there are programs that will deal with it.
And I have seen my colleagues asking in this discussion that we have agreed, where is the cost of living? And I want to tell them, we are already implementing the programs that will deal with the cost of living. I don't know why you cannot see.
Ruto's sentiments seem to be supported by his deputy Rigathi Gachagua, who pundits had gauged as a hardliner in the talks. Speaking in Kiambu, Gachagua welcomed the talks.
Welcome talks. We welcome non-violent ways of resolving conflicts. That we do. But we are on standby. Once bitten, twice.
This latest news, however, seemed to have caught allies and supporters off guard as they urged Ruto to instead focus on serving Kenyans.
If we want to lower the cost of living, it's not by going to sit in strange places to talk with strange people.
what does he mean talking in strange places with strange people? I mean, that's just grasping at straws. Whoa. Oh, where'd you get that? Cut. I don't know how that got there. But that was Ruto, not Raila Odinga. Go. Cut. Oh. Talking with strange people.
We want to lower the cost of living. It's not by going to sit in strange places to talk with strange people. It is by having sound economic policies, increasing production, and helping the Kenyan farmer to produce enough food to put on our table.
The Chief Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi noted that Kenya's problems will only be solved internally without associating the international community.
So now when people start putting one and one together, they realize it equals 2. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's 2. And when you start putting this together, and 2 plus 2 equals 4, the West media and governments will tell you that 2 plus 2 is not 4. And they'll keep telling you that for years and years and years and years until finally you're like, yeah, okay, well, 2 plus 2 is not 4. Then it's whatever you say it is. They do it. And apparently, they're not the only ones, but Kenyans are using the trick. Kenyan politicians, that is. But it looks like Gen Z is a little bit too smart for this, and sometimes common sense, it does actually work. When you add the Holy Spirit and Jesus Christ and as your guiding light in the dark places, boy, it just opens things wide up, and then you begin to see everything. However, common sense alone, if you don't have Jesus Christ, still 2 plus 2 equals 4. But now that we see Raila Odinga coming in and saying, hey, I want my piece of the pie, and he's looking towards the IMF and the finance bill to get it. That's what this is about. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, that's been his whole career. And that's what Ruto is trying to... He needs him now. He needs him to make this dream come true. For the government to hold more power. For Ruto and Odinga to hold more power. Will Gen Z let that happen? I don't think so. I think it's a new day. But those are just my thoughts. Tell me what yours are. Leave comments down below. We love you all. We're praying for you all, and we wish you the best. Have blessings. Stay safe, and one love. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.